And there it is. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Swim Live, Smart with Your Money Live, that is. I am Chase Peckham, the Director of Community Outreach and Education at the San Diego Financial Literacy Center, the education arm of DebtWave Credit Counseling. And as always, I have my cohort, Felipe Arevalo, to lead the way. And today is, I'm telling you, I have been waiting for this one. This is the one that I have been so excited for, because I'm telling you, it makes you look at finances in a whole different way.
It does, and there's so much music to go along with it. Sometimes we go over these beforehand, but Chase has not seen the slides, so this will be interesting. And we did that on purpose. Music and your debt-free journey, and you know, let's jump right into it. First, are there songs about money? Let's just start there. Absolutely, there are songs about money. There are tons of songs about money,
Yes,
from Pink Floyd's Money in 1973.
Money.
The list could be endless.
Sorry,
but
was that very good?
No, that was good. I'm going to try really hard not to sing, but I probably will before it's over. So
my kids would be rolling their eyes right now.
Oh, I know.
Dad, stop.
Like, don't do that, please. You're online. Yeah. People see this on the internet. It'll be on YouTube, which is a sphere. But unlike money, in the song, there's not an, unlike money, songs are an endless supply. You could just continue to find them over and over. And there's a song for every occasion. Every part of your debt-free journey can have a song that goes along with it. So maybe you're just getting started tonight, or you've been doing it for a while, and it's important that you don't stop believing and you hold on to the feeling of just paying off that first credit card.
Wait, you said don't stop believing.
I did.
What does that mean?
On purpose. I'll be hiding a bunch of little song lyrics during my presentation. So stick around. But maybe you paid off that last credit card, and it's time to celebrate. And it's time, because if you just paid off your last credit card, we are gonna celebrate your party with you. And that's what we're here for. We want to help people pay off credit cards. So yes, this is going to be a little on the cheesy side, and bear with me. There's a lot of music that goes along with it, and there's actually science behind some of this music stuff. I'm not making it up myself, but there's a Psychology Today article I was going to make that would have turned into the whole presentation. So I decided to just kind of mention it. But researchers believe that knowing someone's musical tastes allows you to, quote, knowing someone's musical tastes, quote, allows for remarkably accurate personality predictions, end quote. So if you know what music someone's listening to, you can make predictions about their personality, which I thought was really interesting.
That's a little scary if I think about my son and his liking of music.
It is, until you do some of the research, and I realized some of the categories that I fell into, they don't always match up to how I thought they were going to. It was very different.
Okay.
Like, oh, you listen to this? Oh, then it must mean this other thing. And they didn't really line up. Unless your son's listen, I'll send you the link, but I don't think he's listening to some of the scarier ones that you would think. Some of the categories are, it was interesting. But now, so I've come up with a list of a few songs about money, slightly related to money, or things to do with money, not necessarily paying off debt always, but maybe avoiding debt in the future, or things like that. It is important to keep in mind that this list is limited to 1, English language songs, and 2, songs that I found. Although I did try and go outside of my regular music listening, they are kind of skewed towards my musical inclinations.
Well, I mean, I would imagine there's a ton of music too that is like about making money and being rich and being like wealthy and letting it rain and things like that.
Yeah. And the list is going to include songs that are ranked high on the Rolling Stones greatest songs of all time, songs you never heard of, songs that were made popular because of TikTok, and some songs that I can't stand. But it goes back to the 50s, and I try to include songs from all the different decades since then.
So, yeah, I would imagine there's a lot of music that makes money very materialistic.
Lots of it. And we'll start off with, what do you want for most of us? Money. That's what I want. And made popular by the Beatles in 63, but the song originally was Barrett Strong in 59. And the best things in life are free is that opening line. And then it goes on to, is money all that you want? No, but it helps acquire some of the other things that go along with it. So sometimes I think we get into that. It's important to remember that there's more to life than just the money. And a lot of these songs I was looking up and it's like, wow, that was sung by someone else before it was made famous by, sometimes we forget who the original singer was.
Right,
the
for
artist.
sure.
It happens a lot. Sometimes some of these songs are like in their fourth iteration by the time you hear them on the radio today. But some songs, they're barely even songs, but then they become viral sensations because someone decides to do a money dance to it or a little dance to it. So, there are negative influences to money. There's lots of songs with negative influence on money. So, if you're, again, if your money doesn't jingle and it just folds, that for all intents and purposes, the only reason we know that is because it went popular on TikTok videos, and then we saw celebrities do it, and my 9-year-old can do the little dance and my 4-year-old tries. But be careful where you get your financial advice is kind of the lesson to this one. Just because you see a dance video to go along with a cool song or a catchy song that turns into a viral thing, don't be cautious. That's kind of my the point of this one. And there are some negative ones though, so I'm going to cover some that have some negative influences. Again, there's just tons of them. So I could have, if your favorite song didn't make the list, sorry, but I'm almost guaranteed that it didn't, because there's just so many of them. But one with negative influences, you see it, you like it, you want it, go get it. No, that's not a good way to approach your finances. Stick to buying the things you need and save up for some of those wants. Ariana Grande has a little bit more freedom in her budget than most of us. For us every day, you don't go see a car and buy it. You don't go see a new diamond ring and buy it for yourself and then buy some for your friends. It's not how it works.
Maybe she was talking about her career. She wanted to be a singer and a dancer, and I'm pretty sure that's not what she's talking about.
No,
okay.
Once you listen to the whole thing, you're like, I know what she's talking about. And not my normal genre, but it's popular. You hear it all the time. I saw the memes for it. Not the best approach. YOLO isn't the best personal finance way to go. You got to plan for it, and sometimes the reason we fall into debt is because things happen in life and wasn't necessarily something that we did. Other times it's those reoccurring patterns, which brings me to the next one. If you find yourself going out on Friday night, again, even though last Friday night you maxed out your credit card and got yourself kicked out of a bar like Katy Perry, that's not the right financial approach. It's time to start making changes to that and kind of adjusting your finances. If there's a pattern that keeps you falling into debt, whether it's going out to party, going out to concerts, going out to just eat, or whatever it is, it's important to kind of pinpoint what caused the debt. And if that can be addressed, changed, and adapted, you can avoid debt going forward, or you can make your payoff journey a lot easier by not going out and maxing out your credit card every Friday night, which is currently my kid's favorite song because it's on one of the Just Dance things, and Barrington sings it. And now my mom was like, what is Ignacio singing? He's singing about his credit card and a bar. I'm like, he's singing Katy Perry. So,
well, I mean, it gets back to lifestyle choices, right? So,
yeah.
And sometimes those financial issues you get yourself in are due just to the way you're living your life,
right?
And the choices that you're making. So sometimes it's just taking a look at that and adjusting.
Exactly. And if you can pinpoint it, and if it's just one thing, sometimes it's multiple things, and maybe pull it back. So it's not every Friday night, but it's the first of the month or something like that. That first Friday of the month, or the last Friday of the month, and you go from 4 to 1, and then you kind of give your budget some breathing room. So sometimes money the lack thereof, it kind of goes into where you kind of feel like you might fit in. You know, can all of us go party in Beverly Hills? Not necessarily, but you know, like this song, for example, the Weezer, and you know, one of the quotes, preppy girls never looked at me, why should they? I ain't nobody, I got no money in my pocket. It's important to remember that's not necessarily how much money you have. That doesn't create your personality, your self-worth. So it's important to kind of always remember, yes, money can open doors and do things like that, but you are so much more than your money. And even if you're in a debt payoff journey and you don't have a lot of money, you still are the same person you were before. You know, so and
And
you
if a
know,
girl or a guy wants you for your money
you need to be running
or
away
lack thereof,
anyways.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
not
somebody
the
you
right
necessarily
one,
want.
right? And it's something, you know, Weezer would, I would argue with Weezer, they mentioned something that you're born into, and but it's not always you can change, and there's change, and there's generational wealth and making adjustments so that you yourself, your kids and future generations are not in the same financial situation. So you don't like the situation that you're in, I disagree with Weezer. You should definitely try and
You
change
can
who
change
you
it.
are. Yes. So, you know, with that said, you know, what's on your mind? You know, some people would say money, honey. And this is another one where it's like, man, Elvis did this one in 56. Clyde McFadder did it in, and the Drifters did it in 53. So it was like right after another. But you know, they have the line, you know, I mean, it starts off basically with, you know, the landlord rang my front doorbell and he was looking for money. So there is a component that money and you know, can, or the lack thereof, and when you're paying off debts, it's hard. There's that stress that goes along with it. It goes into play with, you know, unfortunately, housing insecurities and food insecurities. So it is important to always remember on your debt payoff journey to be keeping track of your needs and do your best you can to address those, because the financial struggle, and if you don't have debt, this is a good reason not to fall into debt. It makes it easier to manage these everyday expenses if you're not trying to pay off the debt as you go as well. So then it's important to always make money goals. And it's not always you listen to a song and you say, oh, there you go, there's my new money goal. But in elementary school, my first money goal that I can recall, I actually did. And, you know, Notorious said Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, when I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this 50-inch screen. And I could keep going, but I'm not going to. And as well as I did not try and rap it. But you know, that to elementary school, Phil, that was the thing. I can get a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis. That would be great. And a 50-inch television. Oh my, I can't even imagine.
Did you even know what a 50-inch television was
no,
back then?
I had no clue. You know, we were still using at my house rabbit ears and a TV you stood up to change the channels. So, you know, it was like, whoa, that's a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis. What? You know, but it just, don't base your financial goals on what you hear about money, the songs that you hear about money. But every once in a while, it's okay to have big aspirations. It's okay to have big money goals. Make sure that you handle your needs now, pay down your debts, save up for emergency savings, and then you want to save money for a Lambo. You want to save money for lavish vacations, or, you know, to sip champagne when you're thirsty. You can save up for that. You can incorporate it into your budget. You just got to give yourself time. That's the thing with personal finance goals, is most of them are achievable if you give yourself enough time and you're willing to put in the work and the effort to get there. So this one kind of highlights also the struggle of, you know, getting out of a bad financial situation that someone may have been into originally, to then getting to a place where they feel that they've succeeded and accomplished a lot more. And then when it comes to money, you know, it's very important sometimes to just not judge a book by its cover. You can't really tell that the guy who sits next to you, he might be looking
Dirk
like a regular
Bentley.
dude. That's Bentley. Yes. I I like my country. So there's going to be some country here.
Yeah, now we're
But
talking.
you know, in this song, you know, it's actually Billy Currington. In the song,
Oh.
Dirks was on a different one, but I didn't put him on. And you know, he sits down in this bar, talks to this old gentleman. They have a great time. They leave. You know, last call's at 2 a.m. I said goodbye to him and never talked to him again. Then one sunny day, saw the old man's face in the obituary, and he was a millionaire. So, and he ended up leaving his fortune to him. It's kind of a funny little song. It's a cool song, but you know, you don't. It's important. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge people's financial situations by what you see on social media.
Totally.
That big lavish vacation, that fancy Tesla, that all those different little things doesn't mean that they're in a good spot financially.
That's right.
The guy driving around that old Corolla and never buying fancy clothes for himself might be doing very well off for himself, and have no money worries and a ton of money. You know, so it's important to don't judge people by how they appear, and don't try and assume that this person's doing well or not doing well on social media. I need to keep up and try and keep up with the Joneses. So,
Oh my God, that's a great lesson for all of us.
yes, and this is like one of my favorite lines are in this song. Beer is good, or
People
beer
are
is good,
crazy.
God is great, and people are crazy.
Yep. Oh, it's a great
I
song.
love that. It's a great song.
Sorry, bully. I didn't mean to call you out as Dirks.
I like Dirks too.
Well, I mean, it's got the beard, but I
They're
can't
very
really
similar.
see the
Yeah.
bottles right in his eyes.
So moving on to a different genre, because money is all over the place. Can money buy love? Well, Dennis Brown in '78 definitely thought that when he sung in the reggae song, "Money in my pocket, I just can't get no love, but I'm praying for a girl to be my own." If it, you know, there's a component to dating where you spend money. And it's a reality that you go on a date, you're going to spend money. So there's that to it, and you want to, you know, acknowledge that both parties are spending money. But money shouldn't be the reason that you find love. You know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you're trying to accomplish all of them, and you know, money will help you accomplish a lot of them. But true love, I would argue, it is not based on money. Money
It
can
definitely is
facilitate,
not.
money can hinder, but if money's what you're basing your finding your love on, we need to reevaluate that. You need to watch a different presentation that I know nothing about. But you know, it's definitely, it's there. There's music, all kinds of music about money, and find, you know, whether you find love or not find love, and you know, whether someone's interested in an individual because of their money, with you know, not saying she's a gold digger, but you know,
Well, there's a lot of that.
a lot of different
Having money makes you worthy.
right. So
And that's not the case necessarily. It
case.
can get your foot in the door, like with anything else in the world, that is not going to make you happy.
Right.
Doesn't mean you're going to find the right person. In fact, if anything, you're probably going to have many choices of the wrong choices or the wrong decisions for
Might have
you.
to be a little bit more careful, if anything else.
A lot.
Money in, you know, in difficult times, when it's not just an individual, but as a, you know, financial system, as a country, you go into peaks and valleys. Sometimes it's hard just to find a job. And you know, and the cost of living, and you know, this song came out after the 08, 09, but you know, recession and whatnot, and you know, it's hard sometimes. And he mentions,
After Brooks and Dunn broke up,
after they broke up, and he went solo.
they're back together, by the way.
Are they?
Yep, they are doing a residency in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
With Reba McEntire.
Oh, that might be fun. I'm going to Vegas in summer, so
really expensive tickets, by the way.
So I'm not going to that then.
Me neither.
But they got the He mentions in the song, I'm sure 100 others have applied. Rumor has it you're only taking 5. Sometimes there's that scarcity to jobs for multitudes of different reasons. And it's important not to get discouraged, to continue on. Sometimes, you might be the 100th person in line, but, work on yourself, work on your resume, work on your interview skills, and get yourself that job that you're looking for that will definitely help in your payoff journey. If you don't have a job, getting one and increasing your income is going to go a long way.
Yeah.
So switching back and forth genres, because that's just kind of how my playlists go in general. Cash and Cash moves what? Cash moves everything around me. Is 93.
There it is.
Wu-Tang.
They're making it rain.
And there's tons of them in rap and hip hop.
Yes.
But this one covers the heartaches from a lack of money and depression, and sometimes non-healthy coping mechanisms and decisions that may increase money more rapidly but can get you into trouble. But it's important. It's kind of, if you listen to any kind of rap, hip hop, that kind of thing, you'll recognize the little jingle, the little beginning of the song, and you probably recognize that it's quite a popular song. So yeah. Cash moves, or really cash revolves everything around me, is where the acronym CREAM comes from, but the song says it a little bit different. So there's a lot of rap and hip hop songs revolving around money. Yes. and everything like that. And then final song, it's important, whatever part of your debt-free journey you are, that you do find a good work-life, debt payoff life balance, because sometimes if you concentrate too much on one thing, other parts of your life, other parts that are perhaps even more important than money may take a backseat, or too far of a backseat, and can suffer. For example, George Strait calls up, I'm coming home tonight, and I know I've been away too long, never got a chance to write her call, but I'll be home soon. And she says, don't bother coming home. By the time you get here, I'll be all gone. She's moved on. She's tired of the rodeo man and him not being there all the time. You do want to make sure that you continue to pay attention to yourself, your relationships, friendships, significant others during your payoff journey. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Sometimes people just want to hang out with you, and set up a backyard boogie or some kind of picnic, and hope that it doesn't rain. You can plan a perfect picnic, but you can't predict the weather. So be careful, so you don't find yourself wondering if you could still make Cheyenne in the morning. Last summer when I drove through Cheyenne, I was like, guys, there's a song, we got to play it. And I started yelling at Spotify, play. So I've mentioned a couple different songs. I gotta go back and add more to them, because this is going to be on YouTube and Facebook. I'd get in trouble if I played the songs. Some of them do have expletive lyrics, so you want to be careful if you're listening around little ones. But if you do think, like, what is that guy talking about? I did make a list on Spotify, a playlist with the songs that I mentioned. You start listening to it, unless you like listening to music in the way that I like to listen to music, which is very random with very little sense of reason. The playlist is very interesting. I did
eclectic,
very much so. I did add a Talk Wealth to Me episode there, because we do a podcast. But other than that, you might go on there and you might listen to George Strait followed by Wu-Tang. Have at it. Let me know if you have any questions. What songs did I miss? What songs are on your money playlist? Chase, do you have any funny money song stories?
Money songs. The Who always comes to mind. They did a lot of music on money in the 70s. I'm going through a weird 1970s rock and roll, 60s rock and roll kind of. I don't know why I'm going through that right now, but I'm finding a lot of that. And you'll see that in a lot of their music is used in bumpers in a lot of TV shows that now that are being that are have to do with money and things like that. So
yeah. You know, when I got my
Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
yeah. You like that? I threw it in at the beginning.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did. I'm showing my age now, though. Even though, honestly, I'm even too young for those bands.
For some of these songs.
Yeah,
I know. And some of these, like I said, they're not like, I had to reach for some of them. I was searching them, and then I said, "Oh wow, that came out before I even thought it had." I'd heard it once or twice. Funny money story that I have: when I got my most recent car, I was at the car dealership finishing up the paperwork, and the guy just kind of threw in there, you know, "What's your favorite song?" And I don't remember I threw out some Tim McGraw song, and then he was like, "Tim McGraw, oh, okay, what's that?" It's country. So I knew he knew nothing about country. And then I realized what this dude is going to do is, when we finally sign the paperwork, he's going to play my favorite song that I didn't really put any thought into it. I'm not here to go over music over the speaker so everyone at the dealership could hear it. That's not the kind of song I play on the speakers. So I brought it back up to him, and nothing wrong with it, but I brought it back to him. Hey, buddy, you know what's funny? You know, I was thinking my favorite song is actually Brad Paisley's Mud on the Tires. And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah." And he wrote it down and he went off. I bought a Honda. That song starts with bank hey, I got some good news. Bank finally came through. I got and I'm holding the keys to my brand new Chevrolet. So I made him bump that at the Honda dealership. I thought it was hilarious. I don't think all the employees thought so.
That was good though on your part.
That's what he gets for not listening to country. We do have a podcast. You find it on our website called Talk Wealth to Me. And then join us on the next episode. Caution, celebrity endorsement and financial moves, because it kind of goes hand in hand with music.
Well, and it's big right now. The celebrities, it used to be that they did not do advertising at all. It was, in fact, it was poo-pooed on, and they would do, or they might do it over in Japan or in Europe. But now everybody is hawking something.
Yeah, it was you did a commercial.
Yeah, right.
It must be tanking. But now
right.
Now it's more okay. And
not just okay, people are looking for it.
I kind of like seeing funny, like random celebrities in commercials, just kind of as a viewer, but why you should be careful around them.
Absolutely.
Join us on the next time, April 14th. Thank you, everybody. And hopefully you find this enjoyable. Let me know what I should add to that.
That was fun.
At SDFLC on Twitter. And I'll look into adding. I know I missed a ton of them. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.